In my opinion, I don't want to use the word running because I'm not trying to disrespect LeBron, but I will say this. There have been many, many occasions where I would have liked to have seen him accepting the tougher defensive assignment, and that is not something that he has been prone to do. If anybody would know whether or not that statement is true, it would be you, GP. Your thoughts?
Well, it is true. I think it's a different little era with them too. Michael Jordan always took it to a point that he wanted to guard.
Gary Payton just did something nobody expected on live television, and the NBA world is still reeling. The Hall of Famer, known for locking players down and speaking his mind, didn't just question the LeBron James GOAT narrative, he slammed it outright in front of everyone watching. This wasn't some random hot take on a podcast or social media chatter. This was primetime TV, and Gary came in swinging like he had been holding this back for years. One of the most respected defenders in NBA history finally said what many legends whisper behind closed doors. The moment flipped a normal sports show into pure chaos. There were no jokes, no soft landings, no playing nice. Gary wasn't there to protect feelings or keep the peace. And the response from LeBron's camp? Let's just say it poured gasoline on an already raging fire. Now the NBA world is buzzing. What exactly did Gary Payton say that crossed the line?
Tiring right now.
I also think another part of it, and I'm curious what you think about this. I think the GOAT discussion and the favorite player discussion became intertwined in a way that was problematic, right?
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is when somebody says that's my GOAT, it is not simply that you think that they are the greatest player, is that they are.
It all started like any other quiet Tuesday morning sports segment in January 2025. Gary Payton was invited on to talk hoops, break out the league, maybe share a few stories from his playing days. The usual Hall of Fame routine. Nothing controversial was expected. But the moment the host brought up the GOAT debate and asked where Gary would rank LeBron James all time, the energy in the room shifted instantly. You could see it on Gary's face, that familiar scowl, that locked-in look. The glove wasn't about to give a safe answer. He leaned forward, stared straight into the camera, and said something that lit the internet on fire within minutes. Look, I respect what LeBron's done, no doubt about it, but we gotta stop this constant push to put him over Mike. We really gotta stop. The studio froze. Co-hosts looked at each other like they had just heard something they weren't supposed to hear live. But Gary wasn't finished, not even close. He doubled down, saying he had played against Michael Jordan, lived through that era, and what he sees today simply doesn't compare. According to him, the competition is different, the physical edge is gone, and people keep forcing comparisons just to fit a narrative. The host tried to jump in, probably hoping to cool things down or move the conversation along, but Gary shut it down immediately. He raised his hand, shook his head, and kept going like a man who had waited years for this moment. If people want to talk LeBron stats, fine, let's talk about them. But let's also talk about officiating changes, load management, and super teams, he said. Then he dropped the line that really shook the room, pointing directly at the finals record. 6 losses, making sure nobody missed it. 6. Michael never let anyone celebrate on his home court, not once. Just like that, Gary Payton dropped a grenade into the middle of the NBA media machine. And that was only the beginning. This wasn't a bitter rant or generational hate. It was precise, targeted, and ruthless. Gary wasn't talking in generalities. He was attacking the foundation of the LeBron GOAT argument piece by piece. First, he went straight for the stats narrative, longevity, total points, and the all-around game that everyone loves to cite.
LeBron James, the greatest NBA player of all time. Y'all gotta sit back and relax for this one. Just to be clear, I think that's a feelings. I don't think it's a fact. This has been a topic of conversation that has dominated so many talking heads, TV segments, talk radio segments. It's dominated so much of the conversation around the NBA and specifically around LeBron and his career.
Then Gary went for the jugular. He brought up the finals record, 6-0 versus 4-6, and didn't just mention it, he drilled it into the conversation like it was the only stat that truly matters.
You don't get bonus points for showing up and losing on the biggest stage. That's not greatness, that's participation, he said. Michael Jordan went 6 times and finished the job every single time. LeBron, on the other hand, has more finals losses than wins, yet somehow people want to crown him based on longevity and totals. Gary made it clear he wasn't buying that logic. The studio air thickened with tension. Gary wasn't yelling, but every word carried weight, passion, and frustration. This wasn't just hoops talk to him, it was personal. The moment that sent social media into meltdown came when Gary questioned LeBron's competition. Who exactly did LeBron beat in his prime that we'll still talk about 20 years from now? Kevin Durant? They shared Team USA jerseys. Stephen Curry? LeBron had to switch teams and stack the deck to get past him. Kawhi? Please. Gary wasn't saying LeBron faced no competition, but it wasn't the same grind Jordan endured. The Pistons, the Knicks, Reggie and Isaac, then the Jazz with Malone and Stockton. Every round felt like a street fight. Leaning back and crossing his arms, Gary dropped the line that cut the deepest. LeBron is great, top 5 all time, no debate, but he ain't Mike. Everybody knows it, he said. They're just scared to say it because the media's been pushing this narrative non-stop. He said it out loud anyway. Michael Jordan is the greatest to ever do it. Within minutes, the clip went viral. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Headlines exploded with Gary destroys the GOAT narrative, and the glove finally says what everyone's thinking. The reaction split the internet in half. LeBron fans went nuclear. Comment sections became digital battlegrounds. Critics called Gary bitter, washed, or clout-hungry. One viral post mocked him for only having 1 ring, and it exploded with hundreds of thousands of likes. Meanwhile, old-school fans celebrated, feeling validated that someone with credibility had finally spoken for their era. Timelines flooded with Michael Jordan playoff clips labeled, "This is what a GOAT looks like." Other legends joined quietly. One former champion posted, "Real ones know the truth. You can't rewrite history just because it's uncomfortable," alongside a photo with Jordan and trophies. Another Hall of Famer said, "Gary said what many were afraid to say. The game was different. The mindset was different. Losing 6 times on the biggest stage would have been unacceptable back then. They played to win, not just to compete." Reports soon surfaced that LeBron had seen the clip and wasn't happy. He couldn't understand why Gary went that hard on national television. To understand Gary, you have to know who he is. A player constantly doubted. Not the tallest, not the flashiest, but one of the toughest and most relentless competitors ever. He built his legacy on defense, trash talk, and backing it all up. He guarded the best guards in the world night after night, talking straight to Jordan, Kobe, and others without blinking. Seeing today's GOAT debate driven by stats, popularity, and social media buzz instead of wins and dominance rubbed him the wrong way. For Gary, greatness is simple. When everything's on the line, who dominates the best competition and finishes the job? He comes from an era where you wanted to beat your rival, not join them. Super team.
You could say that, and my retort to that would be 6 NBA Finals losses.
So they only. Hold on.
There's 6 final losses.
Yeah.
6 finals losses.
Let me ask you a question.
6.
I just want you to tell me one thing. We're going to debate this.
Sure.
Tell me the team that he faced that was the 2017 or the 2018 Golden State Warriors.
What do you mean? I don't understand your question.
Michael Jordan. Tell me the team.
You talking about Michael Jordan?
I want you to tell me the team that Michael Jordan faced that was the equivalent of the 17 and 18.
People around LeBron started speaking up too. One well-known analyst, firmly in LeBron's corner, jumped on his podcast and fired back at Gary without hesitation. "With all due respect to Gary Payton," he said, "this is what's wrong with basketball talk today. Everyone's so busy comparing eras that they refuse to appreciate what they're watching right now." Then he dropped the counterpunch. LeBron went to 10 finals. 10. Gary went to 1 and needed one of the most stacked teams ever to win it. The message was clear. Maybe slow down on the criticism. The irony didn't go unnoticed. Gary's ring came in 2006 on a loaded roster, a detail critics were quick to highlight, and social media had a field day. Current players quietly lined up behind LeBron as well. One All-Star posted a photo of LeBron with the caption, "The hate comes with greatness. Keep inspiring us, King." Another dropped just a crown emoji, letting it speak for itself. The most revealing reaction came from behind the scenes. Reports surfaced claiming LeBron's camp was disappointed by Gary's comments, feeling they crossed a line. LeBron has always respected Gary and didn't understand why he'd go that hard on national TV. Sources said people close to LeBron urged him to ignore it, to not feed the fire or turn it into a circus. But by then, it was too late. The conversation had already exploded again. And here's the truth most people don't want to admit. The GOAT debate isn't just about basketball. It never really was. It's about identity, loyalty, and protecting the era that made you fall in love with the game. For fans who watched Michael Jordan dominate in the 90s, he isn't just a player, he is basketball. He's the standard, the blueprint, the measuring stick. Seeing LeBron placed next to him or above him feels like an attack on those memories. For younger fans, LeBron is the greatest they've ever seen. His longevity, versatility, and ability to elevate everyone around him define greatness for their generation. When legends like Gary dismiss that, it feels disrespectful to everything they've watched for 20 years. And the uncomfortable truth is that both things can be true. Michael can be the most ruthless, unstoppable winner the game has ever seen, while LeBron can be the most complete, durable, intelligent force the league has produced. Different eras, different rules, different paths, but nuance rarely survives online. Social media doesn't want balance. It wants one king, one answer, one GOAT. Gary Payton's comments forced everyone to pick a side again, reminding the world of one unavoidable reality. No matter how many records LeBron breaks or how long he plays, there will always be people who believe Michael Jordan is simply untouchable. Will Gary and LeBron ever address this face to face? Probably not. LeBron is too calculated, too media aware to jump into a public back and forth with a legend. Gary already said what he needed to say. He wasn't looking for validation or applause. He spoke his truth, dropped the mic, and walked away. But here's the real question everyone keeps dodging. Can we appreciate greatness without tearing someone else down? Can LeBron be incredible without shrinking Michael Jordan? Can Jordan remain the GOAT without disrespecting what LeBron has built over 2 decades? Gary didn't think so. He drew a hard line in the sand, and once he did, the basketball world split right down the